how to alchemize your fear into love. We all have experiences in our life that trigger emotions, such as anger, guilt, shame, frustration, or anything that is not peace. The way to alchemize these heavy emotions or these energies is not by resisting, shunning, condemning an experience in your life or what you feel. It's about accepting yourself in this present moment and allowing yourself to feel those emotions without believing the thoughts around it or judging the thoughts around it. Many describe this as being in a state of just being, or allowing, or surrendering. And in my experience, that's quite true. Because what other option do you have besides accepting what is? We can spend an enormous amount of energy and become more frustrated and more angry if we are trying to get rid of things that we feel, trying to suppress what we feel. But instead, we just take a few moments from time to time just to be present, just to be here now, and allow ourselves to experience the experience we have right now, without judging what we're feeling, without judging circumstances or perceived circumstances in our life. And this has been the biggest pivotal change in my life since going through a spiritual journey. And even a spiritual journey has a connotation of attachment to an idea or an image of self need to be maintained, but that's an illusion as well. It's all just about being at peace, being yourself. And I've found that being in the moment and the present moment is quite enjoyable, but at the same time, alchemizing fear just requires being present with it and just being with it and allowing what you feel without believing your thoughts. Because on the most foundational level of who we are as souls, we are actually not our minds, we're not our bodies. And so identifying with these aspects of ourselves creates suffering. But when you're aware that you're not your thoughts, you're aware that even though you feel emotion in your body, it's not the entirety of who you are. In fact, it's not who you are, not even close. You align to a piece of who you are in this moment beyond that. And that's the process of transmutation. And the way I describe it is like you live your life doing what you feel called to do in the present moment. And when situations come in that trigger an emotional response, you just be present with it. And you allow the emotion. You don't believe the thoughts. And that process of that, you realize your awareness of who you are and just being present and at peace is the foundation. And so no matter what comes into your life, even if you do get triggered and taken out of your peace, you try to bring yourself back to the present moment and just allow the thoughts and allow what you feel without judging it and not judging this situation as a bad thing. Because judging a situation as a bad thing also keeps emotions stuck, keeps us feeling stuck angry, sad, depressed, whatever it is that we can label. But everything is happening as it's meant to be for our highest good. And we already are everything we could possibly ever want. And this is something that has taken me some time to practice, and I'm by no means any master at this, but I'm aware of this. I'm aware of this process within my own life and the peace it brings me. When situations arise in my life, I'm aware that there's an intelligence in me that knows to surrender to what is, not to resist and not to push out into the external world to try to fix or solve an outcome that requires me to summon a huge amount of energy to try to control an outcome. Because I know that our soul and my soul and each of our souls is coordinating everything for our highest good. And I just try to surrender to that intelligence as much as possible. And if you're asking why do we want to transmute our fear into love, really it's just being able to be at peace and accept what is, that aligns you to a deeper feeling of feeling good and at peace within yourself and being free within yourself, just to be yourself. That's all it is. Because it's the judgment that we have on things outside of us, as judging things as good or bad, that makes us feel the highs and lows of emotion. Now, I'm not saying you be numb to life and don't experience good times and bad times, or just, try to suppress what you're feeling. But I'm saying for the times that feel particularly hard, look at the situation that you're looking at, what you're judging as bad, and see your thoughts around it, and let go of the judgment as it being a bad thing. Because it's the judgment of something that's being bad that makes us feel bad. If we judge a thought as bad, it creates the emotion of feeling bad. And that is what keeps us stuck. And the whole reason of releasing judgment on other people and on yourself, and accepting yourself and aligning with unconditional love and acceptance, is to self-realize the freedom of being you. The freedom that is not dependent on anyone else outside of you. A freedom that comes when you realize that no one outside of you can make you feel a certain way. And that the only feeling that you feel in response to people is fear reflected for you to transmute and to accept by not judging the thoughts around it as a bad thing, and being in touch with your soul, which is your heart center. So to wrap this video up, I wanted to take you guys, if you're this far, please take a moment to breathe into your heart center, which is right here, around here, the energy center there of your heart chakra. And just put your awareness there. However you are going to do it now is the perfect way for you to do it. So breathe with your heart and just feel the peace within you, of who you already are. Of wholeness, of home, of peace, of you. Just being you, just being. And this is where we feel the softness of our soul in our heart center. Just bringing your awareness there, feeling the warmth there. And that serves as an anchor to live your life from your soul. And that is how you alchemize fear energy into love energy. By number one, just being aware of when you're triggered, when you feel an intense emotion. Number two, don't believe the thoughts around it, or don't judge the thoughts as a bad thing or the situation as a bad thing. And watch that over time, As you release your judgment, the emotions dissipate. And then the final step is just being, you know, just being in your heart center. And it's all synergistic, you know, just being present with yourself, just in the present moment. You'll develop the knack of being in a state of allowing as much as possible. So you can apply this, guys, to any situation in your life, whether it's health, relationships, work, anything. And I hope that helps.